Sometimes films are an utter, unrelenting mess. You can try to justify or theorize as to what a director or writer was trying to do, but it simply doesn't add up. Terminator Genisys is a great example of this nonsense! But at the other end of the scale, there are films like Arrival, clever, thought-provoking filmmaking that reveals just enough through contextual clues to have the audience understand it without them having to spell it out. The answers may not be overtly stated, but they are still there, hidden in for the eagle-eyed movie fans to find. I'm Ben from Whatculture, and here are 8 obscure background movie clues that explained everything. Number 8. The child actors show the ending's not a dream. Inception. It's been a hot topic of debate ever since he walked away from the will it, won't it fall spinning top. But Nolan did sneak in an answer there. In a fan theory that is so watertight it might as well be taken as gospel at this point, it's said that the spinning top isn't Cobb's totem at all. It's his wedding ring, a symbol of how he's still attached to Mal in the dream world. He wears it in every dream, while in all of the real world sequences, including the ending, he's not. That's not all though, there's another, even less prolific clue as to the nature of the film's ending. Cobb's kids, who he refuses to look at throughout the film, are played by 2 different sets of actors, a younger pair in the dreams and a few years older for the final scenes, signifying we're in a level where a few years have passed the real world. Number 7. The alien is the one with no visible breath. The Thing. There were several shot endings of John Carpenter's The Thing, but the director eventually went for something so down the middle that it's painfully ambiguous. At the end, MacReady seemingly kills the alien and collapses exhausted amongst the burning base before Childs, presumed dead earlier, pops up and shares a drink with the helicopter pilot. There's a whole bevy of evidence that Childs is or isn't the Thing. His coat is different for one, but the real solution is so simple, you'll kick yourself in the nads for having wasted all that time watching rambling theory videos like these. It's his breath. In the final scene, you can clearly see MacReady's breath steaming out in the cold, but Childs, not a wisp. Now, we don't know every specific feature of the creature, but we know it can survive extreme cold and is thus unlikely to produce any water vapor. Number 6. The Zodiac killer looks different each time because the film doesn't have the answer. Zodiac. Just who is the Zodiac killer, asks the film, but at the end, you'll be none the wiser. The ending does see Jake Gyllenhaal make up his mind, but the exact truth is kept at arm's length. Prime suspect Arthur Lee Allen certainly fits the bill, but he died before he could be arrested in real life, so no charges were ever made against him. The key phrase in that, however, is real life. What happened in the film is exactly how it went down, apart from some dramatization here and there. And in truth, Zodiac was never about solving the case, but presenting it as accurately as possible. There are lots of otherwise bizarre creative choices that play into this. Most prominently, each of the Zodiac's appearances are recreated solely from victim testimony, leading to the murderer looking different in each attack. It's not easy to get that from the classic thriller setup, but the real point of the film is to explore the process and not the answer. Number 5. The screens at Recall show it's all a dream. Total Recall. Total Recall ends asking if Arnie is awake or asleep. Is he really a secret agent who saved an entire planet, or just a construction worker who got lost in a commercially available fantasy? Unlike Inception, it's not the sort of film that wants to be getting you musing on the finer points. However, for those of us looking, there are some resolute clues to the actual reality. While Schwarzenegger's Doug Quaid is prepping at visiting dream company Recall, the background monitors are full of elements relating to his later events, immediately revealing everything that happens afterwards is a fictitious construct. Number 4. The truth behind the Bond codename theory revealed. Skyfall. The James Bond franchise has a notoriously flippant approach to continuity. It bounds from one film to the next, only caring about what came before if the predecessor was particularly successful, and refusing to acknowledge any plot holes that arise even within a single actor's tenure. The solution to all this? Well, some fans dreamt up that James Bond, like the digits 007, is a code name given to a certain set of MI6 secret agents. Although it's never been directly addressed by the film, Skyfall threw out a background clue that passively disproves it. While at the titular childhood home of James Bond, we see a tombstone for Andrew and Monique Bond, his parents, proving once and for all that it is his real name. But with the release of Spectre, which has a plot even more seeped in Bond's past, there's no avoiding that James Bond is his real name, and that the 007 series simply doesn't have any continuity. Number 3. You can actually hear what Bill Murray says. Lost in translation. At the end, just as Murray's successful but empty actor prepares to leave Tokyo for Japan, he spots Johansson's equally lost soul in a crowd and they embrace one last time, where he whispers something in her ear. What is it? Who knows? The line wasn't in the script, instead created on the spot by Murray and kept purposefully ambiguous to leave the audience aching for more, just like the characters. I suppose you could call it a ambiguous line that nobody knows except Bill Murray and Scarlett Johansson for wankers. Hashtag ambiguous line that nobody knows except Bill Murray and Scarlett Johansson for wankers. Except you can actually hear it. The words Murray spoke are in the background of the soundtrack, and with some clever enhancement you can make out what he's saying. I have to be leaving, but I won't let that come between us. Oh, you big soppy loser. Number 2. A split-second out-of-focus shot revealed Deckard a replicant. Blade Runner. Whether Deckard is a replicant or not is still one of the most hotly debated questions in sci-fi cinema, despite Ridley Scott having come out multiple times and confirmed that yes, he is. Not that he needed to explicitly say it at all. Ever since he re-edited in a deleted scene of Harrison Ford dreaming of an electric unicorn back in 1992, the ending went from being a metaphysical tease to a forceful nudge. But all that's not really necessary. There's a shot present in earlier cuts that gives it all away only an hour or so into the film. It's established very early on that the key to telling a replicant from a human is the eyes. The detectives use an optical test to question suspected androids, while the film repeatedly gives replicants' irises a hollow red glow when viewed from a certain angle. And what do you know, when Deckard takes a stunned Rachel back to his flat, in one slightly out of focus shot, his eyes flash red. If anything, a more telling clue than a foiled unicorn. Number 1. Everything is a clue. The Shining. Taken at face value, The Shining is the story of a crazy, violent man who takes his family to an isolated hotel where he proceeds to become crazy and violent, either because he has no beer or general pesky ghost meddling with an odd subplot about a psychic son. Then, at the end, he somehow ends up assimilated into the hotel's past, because reasons! Naturally, because this is a Kubrick film, there are clues to the bigger picture hidden in the background of each frame. The Overlook Hotel is absolutely littered with Native American iconography, from the tapestries hanging in the main room to a specific brand of baking powder in the fridge, and is even built on an ancient Indian burial ground. Contrast that with the more overt hints at the general weirdness of the hotel, skiing adverts for a resort with no skiing, and you're left with a film all about the appropriation and decimation of persons and culture. Naturally, some nerds have taken it all rather far, with the documentary Room 237 not only highlighting the Native American theory, but also some more bonkers ones about it being Kubrick's confession for faking the moon landings, and him superimposing his face into the opening credits for no discernible reason. Perhaps it is possible to read too much into a film. Get help. And that's our list. Make sure you subscribe to the Whatculture YouTube channel for more lists like this, and don't forget to visit whatculture.com for daily news and articles. I'm Ben from Whatculture. You can follow me here on Twitter. There it is. I see you looking at it. Just do it. And thanks for watching.